If you're trying MVC and you notice it annoys some people, or if you are the annoyed victim of someone trying MVC on you, this video is for you. It will provide compassion for both parties, resolutions to restore the connection, and also this sense of, you're not alone in this. So I've been asking around on forums to you, like, what's the most annoying thing that NVC people do? And I gathered also from my own experience a top 3 of NVC annoyances, the most common ones. And I will demonstrate them with my friend and colleague Oriane Boyer. Number one is sounding like a freaking robot, stilted and inauthentic.
It's really amazing. Like, I didn't see this person for, I think, 4 years, no contact. And now every day they are WhatsApp, like,
oh yeah? So when I see you chewing with your mouth like open and I see the green and the water coming out, I feel a bit disgusted and also worried about the germs, because I would really like some comfort when I'm sitting here with you and some safety. So would you be willing to close your mouth when you're eating? So the solution to this annoyance is to sound more natural, or maybe I should say more habitual. So the first tip in this is that you just skip one of the 4 steps. We sometimes think we have to really do observation, feeling, need, request, and it can sound really robot-like. Sometimes you can skip one of those. For example, the observation you can skip sometimes. And you can experiment with this to see what sounds more, relaxed and natural and the way people are used to. The second tip is that the word need is used a lot by NVC people, and it's not really what people are used to. It might sound a bit needy. So you can also say, instead of I need, I would like, which is more common. The third tip is that sometimes we tend to use a certain need kind of separate. So for example, we would guess someone's need and say, do you need acceptance? Instead of just using this one word need, try to make more of a sentence of it that includes more specifics of the situation. So for example, instead of do you need acceptance, you could say, do you need acceptance in how you handle the project, and that, the way that you do it, that you just really like it. And my bonus tip is that just to have some self-compassion, because learning NVC is in a way like learning a new language. If you're learning Spanish, yeah, in the beginning it will sound clunky, that's part of it. So if you just practice more and more, it will get more fluent. And also, just like any model, it can be helpful actually to first really stick to the rules before you break them. But in the end, NVC is also not really like learning a new language, because it's more like a shift of consciousness. It's about training your brain to express yourself and to listen in a more compassionate way. And so if you also keep that in mind, then in the long term, I think it will turn out just fine. And until that time, you can also warn people, hey, I want to try out this new way of speaking or this new way of listening. It might sound a bit clunky. Is it okay that I try it out anyway? The second annoyance is giving empathy, listening to someone, while actually you're a fool. And what happens is that people can tell that maybe you're guessing feelings and needs, but something else is going on. And this can be a bit scary or a bit confusing for people, and they just want this trust that whatever you are saying or whatever you're doing matches with what's actually going on inside of you. And there's another variation that's a bit close to this, which is that you could be expressing yourself. For example, you might be giving appreciation and really do the 4 steps in NVC, and you have the sense like, I'm doing a good job. But actually, what's more alive in you is that you feel nervous about trying out NVC, trying out these new steps. And this is what will come across. And that's also what will make people a little suspicious, I think something else is going on. People are in a way like dogs, they pick up on this very sensitive, this very subtle signals.
Wow, I'm late. There was so much traffic in town. I'm really exhausted right now. How is it for you, actually?
Yeah, if I'm fully honest, I am a bit annoyed thinking something like, yeah, there's always traffic, so if you notice, you can kind of calculate this. That's a little bit my thought.
So you're annoyed.
Yeah.
Like you don't like it that I come late and yeah, you're angry actually. Like you want care or something like this?
Yeah. Are you sure that you want to listen to me?
Yeah, sure. So is it like you want respect? Like or what?
Yeah, it would be nice. So the solution to this is making sure that you are at all times self-connected. And there's two tips I have for that. The first one is slowing down. And I know this might sound a bit boring, like, yeah, slowing down, but I discover more and more that this is really like so essential in any moment. Like if you don't want to react in the automatic way, you need to slow down and really, really be like, what's going on right now? Otherwise, you don't have time for that. So slowing down could look like, saying out loud to the other person, even if while they're sharing with you something vulnerable, you can just say like, hey, can I just, something's going on in me and I don't know what it is. Can I take 2 minutes to explore this with you? Do you have space for that? Just this can be so powerful. And the other thing is taking a break. When you know you're completely full, just tell the other person, hey, I notice I'm so full that I cannot listen the way I would like to you right now. So can I come back in 2 hours? And often this is scary because we label it, or maybe the other person will label it as, rejection or leaving someone alone or anything like that. But the more you do it, the more you notice that maybe this is what it seems like or is labeled like in the short term. But in the long term, this is really like how you restore, how you maintain the connection with both yourself and the other person, healthy. So it's really like, yeah, this is really like an essential thing for me. The third annoyance is going too deep too soon. So if you've experienced this from the other side, you probably thought like, oh my God, this person is acting like my therapist, or like they would try to take power over you, or thinking that they know better. So probably what you might have longed for is something like, choice in where to go and at what pace.
Okay, yeah, so I really want you to know, as also the team, that we really have to hand out our work tonight by 10. The CEO wants that. They just told me today, so it's very important.
Is it like you feel a bit insecure because you really would like some respect from the CEO?
Sorry?
So the solution to this is all about meeting someone where they are and following where they want to go. That's up to them. And this is something I can also make a separate video about, but I'm just going to give you 2 tips for this. The first one is that it's often safer, instead of guessing feelings and needs, which can be quite vulnerable, to guess people's thoughts. So for example, you could guess like, oh, so someone is talking about their colleague, and you can say like, sorry, so you really have this idea that she's really not up for the job. Then you're guessing their thought, which is a more common way of expressing ourselves, so it's more safe. The second thing, which is also safer, is to just repeat what they're saying, because they admitted this part already. So if you just give this part back to them, you just repeat it to them, they might have a sense of being heard and it might go a layer deeper. So if they say yes to either you're repeating them or your guess in their thoughts, if they're like, yeah, that's it, then you might try to go a layer deeper and, for example, guess a need. And if you notice, then again, they get a bit like suspicious or uncomfortable, or they deny everything you say, or just seems like they don't like it, just go back to the level of either parroting, so repeating what they say, part of what they say, or just guessing their thoughts. Or just listen silently. That's always always a solution as well. One bonus tip I want to add is that, what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. I notice when I do a session with someone, it's like I need to learn completely anew how to listen with this specific person. What is it that they like? Which words touch them? What makes them feel safe?